Hi everybody, it's Dr. Beachcomb. I'm going to give you a tutorial on sea glass sources. There are four main sources where the sea glass you find on beaches come from. So I sort of wanted to give you an idea of what they are, so when you're looking you can identify them. The first is vessel glass, and vessel glass clearly comes from bowls, bottles, cups, saucers, things that hold liquids. And the vessel glass tends to be thin. This is an old Pepsi Cola bottle. This is not a very worn one, but to give you an idea, a Pepsi bottle. This is a Liam Perrin's sauce bottle, very similar to this. This is the bottom of a black glass old rum bottle, very thick, probably from the early 1800s. And so vessel glass can include bottle necks, bottle bottoms, the sides. Some areas in the world, for instance, Scotland, look how thick that piece is. Other areas, it's not very thick at all, very thin. The thicker generally means the older. You get some beautiful, beautiful colors with the vessel glass. You get teals, lavenders, you get some reds, some yellows, lovely citron shades. So that's vessel glass. Sometimes within vessel glass you find some interesting things. For instance, you can find the seals from bottles. You can find the nubs from old torpedo bottles. Very rounded at the bottom, different from almost anything else you might see. You also can find pop-ups or kick-ups is what everyone calls them. I don't know why I call them pop-up, but I like that. These are from old bottles where the lip is there and there's a little knob. And there's your little knob right there. So that's those. The next genre is utility glass. Now, utility glass is glass with a purpose. Vessel glass is also glass with a purpose, but it's a different quality. It's usually thinner and finer. Utility glass can be handles, bottle stoppers. These were used to stop up bottles back in the 1800s to the early 1900s. Cod marbles, which were used to as bottle stoppers. They corked up bottles, handles, things of that sort. And also things like, this is utility glass. This is the kind of glass that you definitely didn't want people to break and enter into. Banks had a lot of these. Prisons had these. Another type of utility glass that you can find are fishing floats. See how beautiful these are? These mostly are Asian fishing floats that were used to buoy up nets when the fishing fleets went out to catch the fish. Oftentimes these would break apart, and sometimes you can find the bottom, the blob seals, which is what seals the hole in. You can find the inside of these. We call them mermaid nipples. These are a great find. They're a rare find. That's also utility glass. And I put marbles in that category too. These are for play for the most part. Sometimes they use marbles to put plants in, to hold plants in bowls. But marbles are a really wonderful and a favorite type of sea glass. Okay, next we have end of the day glass. End of the day glass is generally from glass manufacturing plants that during the 1800s, particularly in the Seaham region, the Sunderland region of England, they would dump the leavings in the rivers at the end of the day. And they would churn and churn and churn in the rough Black Sea. And they would come back, oftentimes as bubbles, as big chunks of gloriously beautiful glass. This region of the world is known for the end of the day sea glass. It's really some of the most beautiful. But that's not all you get there. You also get lovely, thick, flat glass, very similar to, this one's from Scotland actually, thick old bottles from the 1800s. So Seaham is known. These are called bubbles. And these are, sometimes you get them this big, they're called boulders. But bubbles are a mark of the Sunderland, the northern UK sea glass area in England. You can also get multis, which are when vats of glass melded together, or maybe different types of art glass melted together. These are quite popular This size is very hard to find these days. And you find things like Potholes. These were the rods that held the glass when you were blowing it. This is a neat ponto because it's got a red piece. This is actually would be considered utility glass. Next genre is art glass. So art glass, what's art glass? Murano glass, beautiful, beautiful paperweights is the genre of this. And art glass, the two hot spots for art glass are Murano in Italy and Davenport in California. Incredible shards of glass. You never see anything like it. So here's a classic Murano piece. Beautiful, beautiful piece with different blobs of color in it. Here's more of a classic Murano piece. And then the Davenport is very different than the Murano. You have the colors for Davenport tend to be an orange red, a royal blue, and a deeper green with incredible designs. These two things, this is classic older Davenport designs. You find pieces that have the light green overlay and the dark green. All of these went into making incredible vases and paperweights. Davenport even has its own little language. These would be called eyeballs, these big ones. These are mushrooms. There's a mushroom. Whoa, there's a broken mushroom. And here's a sunburst. Also in Davenport, you can find rods. Occasionally you can find them over in the UK too, and in other places in the world. These are not the only places you're going to get seaglass of this genre, but these are two of the more famous ones. Another type of art glass you get are these little tiny eyes. These are from dolls. These are from duck decoys. These can be found Chesapeake Bay region, Michigan, Maine, over in the UK, Italy, probably other places. So those are the four main genres of sea glass, I'm sorry, the four main sources of sea glass. And then within those sources, you have different genres. And I'll go in that another day because this has tired me out. Goodbye.